Hey friends, welcome back to another slow flow. Today we're going to be focusing on the hips and the hamstrings, so pretty juicy muscles that a lot of us are tight in. Let's come on to our backs. I'm going to start rolling down the spine. Once you are there, just take a big breath in through the nose and a big breath out through the mouth. Trying to soften the body down into the ground. Let's start by pulling both knees up into the chest. So taking your hands around the shins, drawing the knees into a little ball. And you can stay like this, or you can bring your peace fingers around the big toes. And if you can't reach, that's okay. Maybe you take your hands a little higher, a little lower onto the ankles or the thighs. And if you do have your peace fingers around the toes or your hands around the ankles, maybe you can start to extend one leg out and then maybe bring it back in, or take the other leg out and then bring it back in. Just have a little play with how this feels for your body, for your hamstrings and your hips today. And if you can only move a little bit, that is okay. Draw the tailbone down towards the ground. So we've got a long spine here. And then find a little bit of stillness with the ankles stacked on top of the knees. If you've got the peace fingers around the toes, maybe take the hands behind or around the feet so you've got a better grasp here. Now see if you can draw the feet up towards the ceiling and pull the hands down towards the ground. So finding that counterbalance, that counteraction that's going to really open through the hips. Nice. Let's release the hands, release the legs, maybe a little shake out from side to side. Let's extend the left leg long, draw the right knee into the chest. And then you're going to take your left hand to your right foot, so the outside of the right foot. Turn the right knee out, right elbow comes on top of the leg. We've got a little reverse reclined pigeon pose. So we're trying to draw that foot close to us, pressing the knee out. Little shift from side to side. Just take one or two more breaths here. That foot doesn't need to come far for it to feel something through the glute. And then when you're ready, let's take the hands to the back of the hamstrings. Big breath in as we lift the foot up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, draw it back in. Let's try that a few more times. So inhale to lift, exhale to bring it back down. And then when you find yourself at the top the next time, let's hold here. Let's try draw the toes back and then point them. Draw them back and then point them. Let's make a few circles. So circling out in one direction and then maybe the other direction. That knee might be bent here, might be a little bit straighter. Now let's, I don't know how to describe this, shift the back of the foot towards the center a little bit more, so you've got like a little crooked ankle. Once you've done that, let's start to shift the foot over a little bit, just a little bit, and you should already feel some nerves running up maybe the side of the calf and maybe up the side of the leg. Finding a little bit of an IT band stretch here. Let's try one more breath. Come back if it gets too much. And then when you're ready, let's swap that out. So extend the other leg long, draw the other leg close to you. And then when you're ready, take the hands behind the hamstring, big breath in to lift up, and then big breath out to bring it back. So some dynamic movement, just so we're warming up the back of the legs. Once you're up, let's point the toes towards us, and then point them away. Inhale to draw them back. Exhale, point. Let's start to make a few ankle circles. trying to articulate as big of a circle as we can. So firing through all the different nerves that run into our foot. Draw that foot back to center. We're going to tilt the foot towards the side and then gently, maybe taking that hand, the opposite hand around the outside of the leg, gently pull that leg over. You can bend your knee here if you need. Keeping that left hip on the ground, you should feel quite a sharp sensation down the side of the leg. It's not painful, it's just pretty intense. One more breath. And then release the legs, draw both knees in towards the chest. Give them a little squeeze, maybe a little roll from side to side. When you're ready, just gently rock and roll yourself up and down the spine a few times. And then your next roll up, let's bring the soles of the feet together, draw the knees wide. Let's find a Baddha Konasana, our bound angle pose or butterfly pose. Hands come to maybe the insides, the outsides of the feet, or maybe the ankles or the peace fingers around the toes. Let's inhale to lift tall. As we exhale, let's fold forward slightly. Depending on how tight we are, we may not be able to touch the elbows on the ground, on the legs, or we may be able to. If you can touch them, maybe you can press your elbows onto the thighs to gently draw the knees down. Draw the chin into chest slightly, so we're lengthening down the back of the neck. Let's try one more breath here. And inhale, start to lift back up. Let's take the left hand around the outside of the right ankle. Right hand comes behind. Big breath in to lift. As we exhale, just twist yourself slightly. If you can, think about drawing the knees down towards the ground. Then inhale, come back. As we exhale, take the right hand around the left ankle and gently twist. Keep lifting tall through the spine. Press the hips down towards the ground. And then come back to center. Well done. Let's cross over the feet. Plant the hands wide. Take a long step back. Tuck onto your toes. Lift the hips up. Find an Ardha Mukha Svanasana, a downward facing dog. Let's pedal out the feet here, drawing one heel down, drawing the other heel down, using your breath. Just finding length down the back of the calf muscles and the hamstrings. And then let's return to neutral. On an inhale, let's lift the right toes up towards the ceiling. Find a three-legged dog, draw the right hip down, and then start to bend the right knee, open the hips towards the side. So this is a very strong opener for the hips and that left hamstring. Soften the knee of the left, soften the left heel down. Try draw the right shoulder down. Big breath in here. As we exhale, draw the right foot down. Find your downward facing dog again. Let's try that on the other side. So big breath in, lift the left toes up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Try draw the left knee high, foot is close towards the glute. Right knee is soft, right heel is soft towards the ground. Inhale here, draw the left shoulder down. As we exhale, plant the left foot on the ground. Let's walk the hands back towards our feet. Feet are about hip width distance here. Let's find a forward fold. Now options to stay with the hands on the ground, or you could take the hands behind your back and gently draw the knuckles up and over, clasping the palms of the hands together. Maybe you bend one knee and then bend the other. Just make sure that the knees are soft at all times. Draw the chin in towards the chest so we're long down the back of the neck. One more breath. Then when you're ready, let's release the hands towards the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, shoulders up to hip height. As we exhale, fold forward. Let's inhale, ripple through the spine and lift the arms above the head. As we exhale, bring the hands to the side, Tadasana. Let's bring our hands back over on an inhale. Maybe back bend. As we exhale, send it back down. Inhale to walk our hands out. And then exhale to soften into our downward facing dog again. Let's inhale, lift the right toes up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog, soften the right hip down. As we exhale, step the right foot outside the right hand, drop the left knee down, untuck the left toes. Big breath in, lift both arms above the head, Anjaneyasana. Exhale to soften. Let's try one more breath here. Then bring your hands down towards the ground, tuck onto the left toes, start to lengthen the right leg back. Draw the right hip back. Modified pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Soften the right knee as much as we need here. Next breath in, let's bring the left knee down to the ground. Lift the arms above the head. Exhale to soften, draw shoulders down. Inhale, bring the hands back down, tuck onto the left toes. Start to shift the weight back. The left heel is probably off the ground here, although you can drop it down. Next, inhale, drop the left knee, lift the hands. This time, let's hold for an exhale. Soften the shoulders back. You can always bring the hands down if you need. Then when you're ready, let's all bring the hands down. Start to shift the hips back. Draw the right toes up towards you. Right hips draw back as well. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Soften the right knee joint. Deep breath. When you're ready, let's breathe in and walk our hands forward again. Let's stay in our kneeling lunge. We can come onto our fingertips and try pull the heart space through, shoulders pull back. We can always come down to our elbows, or if you wanted a little bit more, you could bend the left knee and take the right hand behind, clasping at the inside of the ankle. You just want to make sure that you are on the thigh here with that back leg, so you're not on the top of the knee. Try to draw the shoulders back. One more breath. And then release the back foot, tuck onto the left toes, lengthening the right leg here. Now you can either stay with the left foot lifted, or you could place your back foot down on a 45-degree angle. Bend that right knee as much as you need here to be able to touch the ground. You can stay here, or you can start to walk your hands over towards the right side of the right foot. Try to draw the chin in, bring the nose towards the direction of the leg. One more breath. Then soften the hands towards the ground. Bring the left knee to the ground. Find your tabletop position. So right knee slides next to left. Little shift of the hips side to side. We're going to try that all on the other side. So when you're ready, place the fingertips wide, tuck onto the toes, lift the hips. Find your Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, let's lift the left toes up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. As we exhale, draw the right foot outside the left hand, soften the right knee down. Next, inhale, let's lift the arms above the head, Anjaneyasana. Exhaling to soften. Inhale, maybe reaching the fingertips towards the ceiling more. Exhale, can we draw the hips a little bit deeper? Let's bring the hands towards the ground, tuck onto the right toes, start to lengthen the left leg here. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward. One more breath. You can always draw the left toes back here if you want more of a stretch down the back of the hamstring, or you can keep the foot planted and feel the stretch down the top of the foot. Next, inhale, drop the right knee, lift the arms, Anjaneyasana. Exhale to soften. Hands come back down, big breath in as we tuck the right toes. Shift the weight back on an exhale. Inhale, let's bring the right knee down. Last time, lift the arms. Exhale to soften. When you're ready, start to shift the weight back. Bring the hands to the ground, draw the left toes back. Soften the left knee joint, pull the left hip back. Try reach the crown of the head forward on an inhale. As we exhale, start to soften. Draw the left toes back. Next inhale, let's walk our hands forward, soften the hips down. Few different options here. You can come down onto your elbows, you could stay on your hands or come to your fingertips, drawing the heart space through. Or if you wanted to, you could draw the right foot up, reaching the left hand behind, just working on that right quad and that hip flexor. Let's try draw the shoulders back. One more breath. And when you're ready, let's bring that foot back down to the ground, tuck onto the right toes, lengthen through the left leg, either bringing the right heel down towards the ground or keeping it off. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward. You can stay here or you can walk your hands over towards the left side of the foot. Draw the chin in towards the chest. One more breath. Try to soften and deepen on that exhale. When you're ready, let's soften into that left leg again. Draw the right knee down towards the ground and then meet the left knee next to the right. Little shift from side to side. Maybe forward and back a little bit. Finding some space within the hips. Let's cross over the ankles. Come onto our sit bones. Extend both of our legs long. Let's try breathe in, lift tall through the spine, draw the toes back. Knees might be bent. As we exhale, let's walk our hands forward, finding our forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Our hands might fall to the sides of the legs or they might fall onto the legs. We don't want to be pulling ourselves with our body. We can use it to hold, but we don't want to force our body into a place it doesn't want to. Let's try maybe 3 more breaths here. Keep trying to tilt the pelvis forward here, so drawing the tailbone up towards the ceiling as much as you can and shifting our belly button forward on the legs. Those are some different cues that you could use to find that length through this lower spine. When you are ready, let's walk ourselves back. Final few poses to finish ourselves off. Let's either keep let's start with the left leg long. Let's take the right foot up and over, trying to stack the right knee on top of the left. Now you can stay here. If this feels pretty comfortable, then you could take the left foot behind, finding both sit bones on the ground. If you feel the right sit bone coming off, try take your left foot forward. Coming into our Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Now you could stay here with the hands on the ground, you could walk them forward, or you could take the left elbow on top, right hand either over the elbow or behind, trying to clasp at both hands. Whatever works for you today. We should feel quite a deep sensation through the hips as we lean forward. One more breath. And then when you're ready, let's walk ourselves back. Let's slide the right foot in slightly so the knee is up now. If the left leg is still extended, maybe keep it there, or you could tuck it in. Let's inhale, try to lift tall. As we exhale, start to twist. Softening the shoulders. Trying to breathe deep into the ribs here. When you're ready, let's swap it out. So either extending the left leg forward and then bringing the left knee up and over to stack, or you could tuck that right foot in. Just keep those sit bones on the ground. Again, you could go with the hands on the ground and leaning forward. If you wanted a shoulder opener as well, you could take the right arm on top and then choose where your left hand is going to go. Every inhale trying to lift and expand. Every exhale trying to soften. Let's try take one more breath. And then start to roll yourself up. Keep the feet, the right foot where it is. Start to slide the left foot up so both sit bones are on the ground. Let's breathe in, try to lift tall. As we exhale, start to wrap. Another option here is to take the right elbow around the outside of the left thigh. That turns into more of a twist rather than a opening down the left glute inside of the leg. Final few breaths here. And when you're ready, let's come back to center. Well done. That was your little video for opening your hips and your hamstrings. I'm sure they are happy with you now, or at least a little bit happier. If you've got any questions or comments or feedback, please leave a comment down below. I hope to see some of you soon. So I'll see you again. See you later.